All right, everybody, we have some really exciting videos coming up. We're gonna do a demonstration of a lot of different ways to help you start building muscle. Building muscle, as we've talked about in some of the other videos, is key to long-term health. Having muscle is the way I always teach it, is you need to think of muscle as your bank account. You need to think of muscle as your retirement. You need to think of muscle as your 401k, your IRA, because studies are clear. The more muscle a person has, the longer they live and the less likely they are to suffer from all kinds of diseases of today, certainly from falls, from broken bones. So this is a critical part of the the 30 days to maximum fat loss, because muscle helps your body burn more fat. The more muscle you carry, the more fat you will burn, and that is the tragedy of these people that are doing these programs, where they're eating all kinds of different programs, where they are losing muscle with their fat in high quantities and high percentages, and I promise you, it is a disaster. It is a failure to lose a bunch of weight and 30, 40, 50% of it to be muscle, because muscle is much harder to build than it is to lose fat. So if we do it properly, which is what we're trying to emphasize here, you can burn mostly fat. Some of you will lose some muscle, but we want to minimize that. And for those of you who are willing to do the next few videos that we show of all these different exercises, of all these things, and the more you're walking or running or hiking or biking or swimming or all of that, along with some stuff to build some true muscle, to what we call resistance training. You don't need equipment. We're going to show it with some equipment, but you don't have to have equipment. You can use cans. You can use food cans, paint cans, fill up water bottles. You can use, there's tools. I tell people you can use your tools to do curls. You can use your tools to do bench presses. You can use just about anything. You can go to the park and find the pull-up bar, the chin-up bar that Beth's going to demonstrate a bunch of exercises on. And you have to understand, I want to make this clear as you go through these videos, as we go through these videos. Beth is doing the exercises. I'm just trying to give you some guidance and talk about it. But Beth is 55. She is very, very low body fat, like I've told you before. She is one of the strongest women, if not the strongest woman, here in this CrossFit gym. And she's not bulky at all. She just is toned. Okay, so the thing we hear from women is a lot of times, well, I don't want to lift weights because I'll get bulky. I'm going to tell you that's not true unless a woman is actually using super physiologic doses of hormones, super physiologic doses of testosterone. We just don't see it. I mean, I would tell you it's very hard for a guy to get bulky, real bulky, without super physiologic doses of testosterone, but it is more likely because men obviously should have more testosterone than a woman to begin with. So we just have an advantage on putting on muscle or bulking up like that. But her strength, as you'll see with the strict pull-ups, toes to bar, Superman hollow rocks, going back and forth. I mean, she is very strong from head to toe, but she is not bulky. She is fit. But now she weighs more on the scale than you would think, because muscle is more dense than fat. And so muscle, you can be muscular and weigh more on the scale. So I want you to, that's part of this program, is we don't want you concentrating just on the scale number. We want you to concentrate on how much of your body is fat and how much of your body is muscle. That's the really important part. I don't care what you weigh. I would tell you that today, when you see Beth in these exercise videos, she weighs about 15 pounds more than she weighed 20 years ago. We'll call it about 20 years ago. But she wears a smaller dress size and smaller pant size. because she's put on 15 to 20 pounds of muscle, which helped her burn more body fat, which helped her body be what most women would say is a better, desirable shape for a woman. That is what we get when we follow the OptiU plan of God-given quality foods, the world's best nutritional supplements, water from a medical device, science-based exercise, rest and recovery, sleep. I mean, Beth does all of these things, and we've done all of these things again over the last 30 plus years, probably closer to 40 years now. We've done them, and we've done them together, and we do it on a regular basis. Like people say, well, isn't it hard for you to always be taking your supplements, to always drink Kangen water, to always be working out, to always be preparing your own food? It would really be harder for us not to, because we know that it's why we feel the way we feel. It's why we feel 18 every day. So these are videos that I hope you will take. You can start anywhere, y'all. Any movement that's more than you're doing now, any resistance or weight training or banded training or whatever you want to call it, that is more than you're doing now is an advantage. You don't have to give the muscles a ton of stimulus or work for them to start to adapt and say, hey, I need to become stronger. I see that. They're going to do those squats, those air squats. Wow, I need to build some more strength in my quadriceps. I need to build some more strength in my buttocks, in my glutes. And if you want the body that has you want to burn that fat off of the glutes, and you want to burn that fat off the thighs, or you want to burn that fat off your arms, or you want to burn that fat off your back, you're gonna have to give the body some assistance by doing some exercise. Now, obviously, this 30 days to maximum fat loss, you can do it without the resistance training. But you won't get that same shape and that same look. It's very unlikely, I should say, that somebody would be able to attain that if they're not doing the kind of training, somewhat the kind of training to build muscle that we're going to talk about. The other thing that's really important to point out is we have what is called an epidemic of skinny obesity in America. We have all these people that think they're healthy and think they're fit because they're thin. Thin does not equal fit, does not equal healthy, because skinny obesity is where we have people that are thin on the outside, right? They look thin on the outside, but they have a lot of what we call visceral fat. They have a lot of fat on the inside, and visceral fat is more dangerous than the fat that we see on the outside. And visceral fat can be around our liver, it can be around our kidney, it can be around any of our organs, right? The InBody test that we're gonna provide you with, again, if you're local, if not, we're gonna try to help you find an InBody where you can get an InBody. And if they have an InBody 570 or above, like we do, you will be able to see your visceral fat number, which I believe is the most important number on the entire test. So we're trying to help you understand, just because somebody can wear a small size, it does not mean that they are healthy. I have literally, and I mean this, ladies, this is an absolute true story. I can't tell you how many dozens of really small women. I mean, when I say small, like thin, what you would think of as fit women on the InBody. And Beth gets mad at me about this, but like, I don't know, I always tell her, I don't know how to make the InBody say anything other than what the InBody says. And so these ladies that think they're really fit, they get on this InBody, and they don't weigh a lot, but their body fat percentage will often be 30, 40, 50, 60%. And it gives us this printout, and I'm going over it with them, and I'm like, by the way, ideal, optimal body fat for a woman is somewhere between 18 and 28%. So just to give you a perspective, Beth is down around usually 12-ish, but now with the last few weeks of adding a peptide, she's more close to about 10% on her last test. So she's really lean for a lady. But we have these women that are this 40 or 50% body fat or 60% body fat or 30% body fat. And they think that it's going to be great because they're thin, they're small. They can wear their, size whatever, 4 pants, I don't know, 4 dress. So what happens though is they have all this internal fat. They don't carry hardly any muscle. They're small, but their percentage of muscle to fat is not good. So that drives their body fat up, and that creates, that's the other beautiful thing while I'm thinking about it, of being able to build muscle. For every pound of muscle you build, not only will you burn more fat, but you can lower your body fat percentage 2 ways. One, on the scale, on the InBody test. You can lower your body fat number, or you can raise your muscle number. Both of those numbers will move that body fat percentage toward the lower end of where we want it. And the body is very smart. If you have a lot of visceral fat, the body will start to burn that fat first when you're doing this 30 days to maximum fat loss program. So I hope that you will take these videos, and I hope that you will really try to implement it. If you don't like to exercise, just remember you're doing it for your health, you're doing it for your family, you're doing it for the way you feel. I'm telling you, you will feel like $1,000,000 when you start using the supplements that are provided in this program, when you start getting in adequate protein, when you start drinking Kangen alkalinized water from a medical device, when you start sleeping well, when you start eating the types of foods that we talk about you eating, and when you start the peptides. It all is a symphony, an orchestra working together. You're gonna feel great, you're gonna have more energy, you're gonna start to burn fat. Hopefully we can get you building muscle. Hopefully we can get you walking. And the other thing you're gonna notice is it turns your brain on. This stuff will help your brain work better, and just everything improves. Okay, remember, these peptides, this lifestyle, these supplements, this water, all this good sleep, all this stuff, the good food, it is all proven to reduce heart disease, the risk, proven to reduce the risk of heart disease, proven to reduce the risk of cancer, proven to reduce the risk of diabetes. Again, I'll tell you, I've said it a million times at least. Type 2 diabetes is voluntary. It should not exist, okay? We get people off their insulin shots there all the time. A type 2 diabetic should not exist, but if you follow the standard that the American Medical Association, American Heart Association, and even worse, the American Diabetes Association, they are experts in how to make you diabetic. They are experts in how to give you heart disease. So we gotta think outside the box. I think that's why you're here. I think that's why you're members of this 30-day to maximum fat loss program. And even better if you're a member of our CEO, our OptiU CEO Club. So, like the shirt says, we want to revive, thrive, and optimize. And we can do that. And we can feel good, we can look good, we can think clearly, and we can live long, healthy lives. Most Americans are going in the opposite direction. Most Americans are looking for the easy fix. This is not an easy fix. This is a program. This is a lifestyle change. This is following a plan. And before I forget, I shouldn't leave the guys out. What we're looking for on guys on their body fat percentage is 10 to 20% body fat. 15 or below would be ideal. If we can get to single digits, that's great, which I can't ever remember doing it, not since we've had the InBody and been doing those tests the last decade or so. But since adding the peptides, I went there in 3 weeks. So it's crazy what it can do, but remember, Beth and I are doing all the other things. We're doing all the other things we talked about, and we're doing more than we talked about. And when I say more, I mean like we're fanatical about it, you might say. We take more supplements than probably you want to know. And a lot of people say, well, just tell me what you and Beth take. And I'm like, I really don't think you want to know, because it may scare you. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean we know the studies, and we use a lot of the supplements. We optimize our hormone levels. Very important to have optimal hormone levels. Men and women, hear me on this. Testosterone is, well, I should say it this way. Our heart has more testosterone receptors than any other part of our body. So testosterone is critical for the most important muscle in our body, our heart, because once it's not working, none of the other muscles really matter, right? But testosterone deficiency is rampant. It's not only rampant in men and women who are aging 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever. It's rampant in teenagers today. The hormone imbalances are rampant around all ages today. I mean, the majority of men we check that are even close to 30, their testosterone is tanked. The majority of women that we check, even close to 30 and a lot younger, their testosterone and their progesterone is tanked. So we want this to be an entire program. The muscle building hormone for men and women is testosterone. So we have to add that into this idea that let's balance the hormones, which is part of what we have you hopefully doing if you're seeing Kim Spain, our nurse practitioner, or I should say the nurse practitioner that has an office in the Prescriptions Plus pharmacy. She's awesome at balancing hormones. She's awesome at helping us decide, helping us as a team, me, you, and her, decide what peptides make the most sense, whether you're on the 30, the 60, or the 90-day version plan, and which version you want, depending on whether you want the 3 peptides, which we call I think we call it the Ultimate Shed, or the Ultimate Shed, I believe is the name. The 2 peptides, which we would call the I don't know. I'm just again, these are all flies. Y'all may know I like to teach out of my head, not out of notes, I'm not reading from a teleprompter. So we're gonna call it like Ultimate Shed is the 3 peptide version. The 2 peptide version, we're gonna call it Fast Shed maybe, and then the 1 peptide version will be Shed. And again, I'm spitballing that could change. Don't hold me to that. But as I make these videos that are, that are going to be given to all the folks who join this program, I am just really excited, y'all. And I hope y'all can tell. I'm really excited. I'm excited for y'all. I'm excited for us. I'm excited for your families. I'm excited for America, that we can have a group of people who are willing to invest in their own health, in their own education. They are truly the CEOs. You are truly the CEOs of your own health, so that you can revive, thrive, and optimize, which was the entire reason that I wanted to develop and did develop the OptiU RX Wellness Program. So thank you. Do your exercises, and we'll see you on some more videos.